Okay, so picture this. You walk into like a busy data center.
Yeah.
And you glance over to server rack, maybe, and instantly, right there, you see everything. Its whole life cycle, support status, its history, no logging in, no digging around, just there.
Yeah.
Now, for the author of the stuff we're looking at today, this was, well, more than just an idea. It was a decade-long vision. Apparently, they even played around with, the original Oculus Rift dev kit, first-gen Google Glass, thinking they were right there, about to make it happen. But the tech back then just wasn't quite ready. But here's the really cool part. Today, that vision, it's actually possible. It's becoming like a practical thing for enterprise IT.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we're going to unpack in this deep dive. We're looking into practical digital twins and structured data and what it all means for the future of enterprise IT.
Yeah.
We've got this document detailing it all. And honestly, it's pretty eye-opening.
Yeah. And the reason this clicks, the reason it resonates so much, it hits right at a core problem most IT teams face.
Yeah.
Just fragmented asset data.
Fragmented data. Yeah, I can see that.
Right. I mean, think about most enterprise places. They're often wrestling with CMDBs, configuration management databases that are maybe outdated or disconnected.
Central records, yeah.
Exactly. And that just leads to these massive blind spots in the life cycle, plus a flood of inaccurate data, duplicates, stuff that's just not structured. And here's a key thing, often missed. Unstructured data, like notes, logs, PDFs. That's still maybe 80% of all enterprise information.
80, wow.
It's huge,
Yeah.
and it creates these incredible bottlenecks, especially if you want to automate or use AI. So the big question is, how do you make all that data actually usable?
Okay, 80% unstructured. That sounds like a mountain to climb. But the source material talks about something called the simple fix. How can it be simple, given that scale of a problem?
Well, it sounds almost too simple, and maybe that's the beauty of it. The core idea is that a basic 2D barcode, or maybe an NFC tag.
Like for tap to pay, those kinds of things?
Yeah, exactly. Near field communication. That little tag can literally transform a physical thing, an asset, into this digital replica you can query. It's structured. It gives the physical thing a kind of voice.
Okay.
And these aren't just dumb labels. They hold rich data.
Yeah.
Specific stuff. Serial number, model, who owns it, warranty info, maintenance contracts, end of sale dates, end of support.
All the critical timelines.
Right. Usage history, even how critical that asset is to the business. And this structured layer, that's what gives AI the clean, actionable data it absolutely needs to make smart decisions.
Okay, so it's more than just an ID tag. It's like the starting point for intelligence on that device.
Yeah.
It sounds like these digital twins could become, I don't know, a central nervous system for IT. But you said starting point. That barcode or tag is just the beginning, right?
Yeah.
What's the real win? How do they evolve past just holding that basic metadata?
Absolutely. The beginning is key, but the real win, is that these digital twins grow. They evolve. They become intelligent. You start with that base metadata, sure, but then they start absorbing more. Over time, these twins can pull in dynamic data. Think SNMP logs for device status.
That'll work stuff.
Yeah. Config drift alerts telling you if something changed when it shouldn't have. Even like real-time power metrics. And they can plug right into your help desk systems, your ITSM tools, other support platforms.
Creating a much bigger picture.
Exactly, a holistic view. And here's where it gets really powerful. With AI layered on top, they can start spotting anomalies, maybe predicting failures before they actually bring something down.
Whoa.
And even trigger automated actions, machine-to-machine stuff. So you go from just knowing what it is to understanding its health, predicting its future, and even letting it sort of act.
That's a massive jump. From basic inventory to predictive and automated operations. Sounds incredibly powerful, but maybe also daunting.
Yeah.
How does the document suggest companies actually start this? Because let's face it, changing how enterprise IT works doesn't happen overnight. The idea of tagging everything feels like it could paralyze you before you even begin.
Yeah, you nailed it. That's a huge concern, the where do I even start feeling. But the guidance in the material is really practical. It highlights advice from a customer who said, basically, let's not boil the ocean here. Don't try to tag everything at once.
Okay, sensible advice.
Very. So the blueprint they lay out has 4 pretty clear steps. First, tag new equipment during procurement. Just make that part of the process. Ask your VARs, your suppliers to slap the smart tags on when they're doing the initial setup. There are even tools mentioned like Rainfall's Asset Sync AI that can help make that smooth.
Okay, build it into the existing workflow. Makes sense. What's step 2?
Step 2, focus on high impact zones. Don't boil the ocean, remember. Start where it counts most. The data center is often the prime target, tagging your core switches, your high-value gear first. Then extend out. And the good part is the actual tagging. It doesn't have to disrupt things. Interns, junior staff, they can handle placing the tags.
Okay, start targeted, low disruption, and for all the existing stuff.
Right. That's step 3. Use AI to onboard legacy gear. This is pretty neat. Forget messing with spreadsheets for hours. You stick a simple 2D tag near the existing serial number plate.
Physically stick it on.
Yeah. Then just snap a photo with a phone or tablet. The AI looks at the picture, sees the tag and the serial number, and automatically matches it to your asset database.
Ah, clever. That avoids all the manual data entry for old equipment.
Exactly. Huge time saver. And the final piece. Step 4, run a pilot, then scale. Don't try a big bang rollout. Start small. Pick one team, maybe one business unit, deploy the system there, and actually measure the results. Are audits faster? Are ticket failures dropping?
Get some real-world proof points.
Precisely. Prove the value, learn the lessons in a contained way, and then grow it intelligently across the organization.
Right. Start smart, scale smoothly. That makes the whole thing feel much more achievable. So, okay, we've got the how-to for getting started. Let's zoom back out. Once you have this foundation, this structured data layer, what's the ultimate payoff? What's the bigger vision that this enables for IT operations?
Yeah, connecting the dots. These practical steps, they're really laying the foundation for what the material calls the AI-driven IT operating system.
Okay, the AI-driven ITOS. What does that look like?
It's a future where your assets aren't just passive boxes anymore. They actively self-report their health. Systems can start to automatically rebalance workloads based on that health data or respond to threats without needing a human to jump in immediately.
Proactive and automated.
Exactly. And AI gets woven into everything, optimizing your hardware refresh cycles, managing warranty claims automatically, planning preventative maintenance. And the key insight here is that this isn't like science fiction decades away. The document really stresses that it's already starting to happen for organizations that put this kind of structured data foundation in place now. It's genuinely a fundamental shift from reactive firefighting to predictive automated IT.
It really does circle back perfectly to that author's original vision, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That idea of walking up to a rack, maybe putting on smart glasses. You're just seeing all that context, asset details, contract dates, status. It's becoming real. The dream realized, you could say.
Absolutely. And there's a really concise, powerful thought that wraps it up in the source material. It says, you don't need perfection to get started. You need structure.
You need structure. That really hits home, especially for something as complex as enterprise IT. It makes you think, doesn't it? If just getting data organized, adding that simple structure, can unlock such incredible automation and insight in IT, what other really complex parts of our world, maybe even just bits of our own daily lives, are just sitting there waiting for a transformation? If only we could bring a little more structure to the data, something to chew on.